Ready. Hi, so my name is Lauren Azer, and I'm a biomedical engineering major, and I want to be one of the freshman representatives, obviously. I don't want to be like all of the average speeches you've heard lately and say that the class 2024 has overcome so many obstacles because of COVID-19 and all of that stuff. But I want to be part of something a lot bigger and say that the class of 2020 has exceeded all of the 2024 has exceeded all of the expectations. Our class has so much potential because of these so-called obstacles that we faced. And to many people, it will define our class. But to me, I feel like it strengthens us a lot more and gives us a lot more experience for our futures. I believe that I can lead this class to breaking those boundaries and pushing all those limits as your freshman representative.
Thank you, Lauren. And next up is Daniel Doss. Just let me know when you're ready.
All right. Hello, I'm Daniel Doss. I'm a biomedical engineer major, and coming in as I'm running for a first-year representative, I want to focus on the advising aspect for freshmen because I had major issues with my schedule, and I was just fortunate enough to know an upperclassman he let me know that if I followed through with the classes that were on my schedule, I probably would have been a semester behind. They didn't put me in engineering physics and engineering calculus and stuff. So I want to be able to have an opportunity for every freshman to have that cornerstone to go to and to have help when they need. So I was thinking about implementing a buddy system, and you can incentivize upperclassmen with community service hours and implement a system of them to have a freshman buddy and allow them to go to the upperclassmen for help and succeed. So that's my goal.
I think you're good.
Sorry, is it my turn?
I think you're muted.
Muted.
Oh, sorry about that. Next up is Matthew Exel. Just let me know when you're ready.
Yep, I'm good to go. So,
okay.
Hello everyone, my name is Matthew Exel. I am an ECE major and I'm a community campus. I stand before you today as a representative candidate to be the voice and be an outlet for the freshman class. Ever since I came to campus in the brief amount of time, I've met an amazing amount of people, and those amazing number of people have helped me realize that I would like to help the Senate grow its public relations and the students with their affairs because of the COVID-19 pandemic and the outspringing effects it has on our community. So that's all.
Thank you, Matthew. Next up, we have Brian.
Yes, I'm here. Do I start? I don't know. Is it good to go? I'm confused.
I'll reset it. So I'll start in 3, 2, 1.
Okay. All right. Hello, my name is Brian Gonzalez, and I'm a civil engineering major in the class of 2024 from Belleville, New Jersey, which is 10 minutes away from campus, so I'm commuting. My candidacy for freshman rep truly revolves around being there for you, the class of 2024. I want to be there to become your ears, so I can truly become your voice. I also believe what makes me a good candidate is my passionate way of thinking. I've been involved in numerous clubs and played sports during my time in high school that has truly taught me how to prioritize and put my fellow peers before me. Also, my target in freshman rep would be, again, advising, because I have friends that are going to miss a semester or going to be a semester behind because of they can have good communication with their advising. So that's the main goal that I would want. But my one true promise to the class of 2024 is that anything I'll do.
Sorry, Brian, I'm going to have to cut you off.
Of the class of 2024 as a whole. Thank you. Oh, no, I had already finished. That was good.
Okay. Christina is next. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready. Hello, my name is Christina Hermanson, and thanks for coming out to the forum. I'm a biology major and a pre-med, and I'm running for freshman representative, obviously. I have a lot of leadership experience. I was the president of an American Chemical Society chapter club at my high school for 3 years, and I also run emergency scenes because I'm an EMT. My platform, basically, I would like to expand the guest policy from 0 guests to 2 fixed guests per room to promote social bubbles. I would like to make toppings for burgers and eggs and other stuff at GDS more common. I would like to reopen the ice cream machines because I don't know why they're closed. I would like to plan socially distanced in-person events on the quad. I would like to minimize the required subscription plans for all the classes because the amount that we have is ridiculous and they all do the same thing. And I would like to get teachers more WebEx training and get them mobile microphones so that people can hear them when they walk around the classrooms. It's really wide, but I just want to make life on campus better for all the freshmen, and I hope that you do too.
Thank you. Next up, we have Luke.
All right, can you hear me?
Yep.
All right, hi, my name is Luke Pothin. I'm a biomedical engineering major, and I'm looking to pursue a career in medicine. For the most part, I'm trying to focus on the social aspect for my platform. I know for when I came onto campus, I wasn't able to meet as many people as I was hoping to. Although the school did have like small events online, I feel like for the freshmen, there weren't as many events where we can meet each other outside of our major or outside of our classes. So, and then on top of that, I'm just trying to give us like the most freshman experience a year that we can have. Due to COVID, obviously, everything changed for us, but I just want to try and give us as like normal as a freshman year as possible. So, yeah.
Thank you, Luke. Next up, we have Mira.
Good. Hi, my name is Mira Sapochnikov. I'm a biology major on the pre-health track. So as a freshman representative, I want to tackle 2 prongs within our academic status and as a campus overall. I want to first improve environmental sustainability on campus by allowing students to control their food portion sizes to reduce food waste and also have recycling bins available in order to help as a campus improve our environmental sustainability overall by encouraging recycling on campus. I also want to help student diversity and also affordability by reducing the costs of required goods, whether it's lab manuals, etc., that are required for course materials by NJIT, or by encouraging and advocating for increased kosher and halal options on GDS food dining services to help students with different dietary needs as a result of the religious restrictions.
Thank you, Mira. Next up, we have Michael. Mike, you're muted. You're still muted. Still don't hear anything.
Hello?
Yep, there it is.
All right,
Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready. All right, hello everyone. My name is Michael Schober. I come from Toms River, New Jersey. I'm an LTC major here at NJIT. And let me be honest, I'm not the best student. I'm not the hardest working student. It would be a very rare occasion to find me in the library studying for countless hours. I'm the type of student that would be in the library helping someone else for countless hours. As a member of the Senate, I want to do just one thing, and that is to help. My goals are to promote student safety, student financial sufficiency, and protect programs here at NJIT. Across the board, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, many schools have faced budget cuts, and as a result, they've taken it out on the students, cutting programs, whether it be clubs, sports, organizations, and I see that as completely unacceptable. So just to close off, good luck to my fellow senators, and I hope everyone has a great day.
Thank you, Michael. Next up, we have Arthanius Shafiq.
Good morning. My name is Arthanius Shafiq, and I'm a Coptic Egyptian in the Honors College majoring in biology. My inner passion is policy. While I can't make promises and create unrealistic expectations, what I can tell you with full certainty is that as your first year rep, I will immerse myself in Senate policy and
Who's the
work
Coptic
with
Egyptian that's in the honors college?
initiatives.
That's the boy.
I took on many leaders
Oh.
such as both National and German Honor Society, while still working hard on my grades to become the class valedictorian. It was hard at times, I'll be honest, but I am dedicated to my positions and to the people I represent. That's because as a first year rep, I not only represent you, but myself. If you want someone who is honest, can balance responsibilities, and is motivated by policy to work for you behind the scenes, vote Shafiq for Senate. Thank you.
Thank you, Arthur. Next up, we have Raya.
Hi, my name is Raya Shamlov. I am majoring in business, specifically entrepreneurship and innovation. I decided to run for first year representative because I believe that it is important to establish a strong relationship between our class, the student faculty, and the school administration in order to create the best possible outcomes and opportunities for our class. My main plan of action is to ensure students are provided all the resources to succeed as freshmen. I also want to facilitate new ways for us to connect with each other and build a strong community. If elected, I will always stand by each member of the class of 2024 and work hard on their behalf. Thank you.
Thank you, Raya. Next up, we have Maxim.
Hey, let's do it. Hey everyone, my name is Max Sokoloff, and I'm currently a freshman majoring in business. In my senior year of high school, I was elected a marketing officer of our local student government and have been developing marketing campaigns for them for a little less than a year. I believe that with my experience in that student council, along with my 2-year marketing background in other clubs and organizations in and outside of high school, I will be an amazing addition to the NJIT Senate. I have a great understanding of what students want from the Senate in terms of events and other activities, how to position a club in the right way, and I'm able to design great-looking marketing materials fast and within tight deadlines. Thank you.
Max. Thank you, Max. And our last candidate is Victoria Youssef.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Victoria Youssef, and I'm a biology major. I get how it feels to be a freshman during these unprecedented times, to feel somehow disconnected from a brand new journey we're embarking on. I want to do everything I can to give us all that college experience and bridge that gap we may be feeling. Now, more than ever, students need a continuous line of communication with their professors and classmates. In terms of academics, I want to implement virtual study groups for all classes, led by the student body itself so that students are connecting with their peers and help foster an environment of collaborative learning. Beyond academics, it's important for us to be able to socialize with our classmates as it is a significant element in campus life. There are many students who are attending school fully online and all deserve to get a taste of that college experience. With that said, I want to implement freshman socials where students can gather virtually for game nights and watch parties. College is not only an intellectual journey, but also a social one, and any opportunity for social interaction among students should and will be taken.
Thank you, Victoria. And now we're going to have a few questions. So I'm going to go in reverse order. So Victoria is going to go first now instead of last. So the first question is, what are ways that, what are gaps you see from social distancing on campus, and how can you bridge those gaps? And I know some of you mentioned ideas, but this is kind of an opportunity to elaborate specifically on that. So Victoria, let me know when you're ready.
Yes. So, sorry. So basically, me and my friends understand how important it is to social distance. And in order for us to do that, we actually go to the Central King building and we social distance in classes and create our own study groups. So we basically follow the same guidelines as students in class would, like sitting on the red seats or the blue seats. So we're ensuring that everyone is 6 feet apart, but we're also getting our work done and having that same college experience and getting to know one another in a safe environment.
Thank you, Victoria. Sorry, I forgot to turn on the timer, but there's more leniency. Like if you need to go over a minute, feel free. But if you don't, that's great too. So next up we have Max.
Can you repeat the question?
Where are gaps you see in first year students on campus because of social distancing, and how can you bridge those gaps?
I think that the number one problem that NJIT Senate is having is not enough enforcement and reinforcement of that information about social distancing. I think NJIT Senate is not utilizing the social media resources to the max, and I think reinforcing the social distancing rules over social media and explaining to the people in entertaining ways of what dangers COVID is posing and how social distancing and wearing masks can help. I think that's the way to bridge that gap.
Thank you, Max. Next up, we have Raya.
I would like to facilitate a way for students on and off campus this semester to form connections with each other and learn more about their classmates. I want to create an online student bulletin. Each week, we will invite students to submit small profiles about themselves, which include hobbies, goals, accomplishments, and even highlights of their week. We will also administer lighthearted, entertaining polls and questions that students can answer. They can submit anything they want to be featured. This is completely by students for students, and it is a fun way to find potential friends and learn more about each other.
Thank you. Next up, we have Arthur.
Thanks. So yeah, I'm really passionate about that topic because I feel that there are lots of gaps, and one that impacts first years the most is in terms of extracurriculars. It's really hard for clubs and societies to be campaigning and to get student advocates and to be represented. So one thing that what happened was we had one virtual fair. Club fair. So why do we have one on one day? Why can't we extend that, make multiple? So people who can't join on one day, maybe they have work, maybe they have other responsibilities, but they still want to learn about clubs. We can create multiple events so that clubs can reach out to as many students as possible. Another thing is during the social distancing, it's really important to still keep our mental health up. So maybe extending the hours of the game room. Why does it close so early? Why can't we have people, working that safe activities that we know can be safe and monitored, but extend that so people can be in person and socialize, because that's what we all need to help our mental health during this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Arthur. Next up, we have Michael.
Hello?
Yep.
All right. So I feel that to answer this question, it's a really simple one. You mentioned the red tape on all the chairs and stuff. I think a big problem with that is when students are traveling around campus, a lot of times they're with more than 2 people. So if they want to go sit and eat lunch with their friends and such, they're not going to want to sit 2 people at one table, 2 people at another table, and it just doesn't make sense. I think that NJIT has a lot of open space behind the honors dorm, on the fields by Central Team Building. And I think that a system could be put in place where perhaps there are mats, something for people to sit on to encourage them to go on those spots, even when the grass is wet and such, and socialize there, eat their lunch, whatever they have to do, and even use those spaces to hold events where they can have people social distance and still have some in-person contact with one another wearing masks and such.
Thank you, Michael. Next, we have Mira.
So personally in my dorm in the Honors College, we've implemented a system where every so often there's virtual activities and game nights. And if we implement that campus-wide, I feel like that would also help if we perhaps ran polls about what games people want to play so that we can interact through webcams as such and talk and still have fun and a couple of laughs. I think also because of the masks, in converged learning, there's a lot of anonymity. We don't know who students are, who's sitting next to us, who's, you know, behind us. So I think possibly implementing name tags or like having some, and like with our, you know, social media ads or something like that, so that people can reach out and like meet their classmates would also be a really good system. And I agree with Raya in the sense that we should have some form of online platform so that students can connect with each other, whether it be based on their classmates or their interests or their hobbies, stuff like that, in the sense that, you know, clubs aren't able to function as they would due to the status quo that we're in.
Thank you, Mira. Next up, we have Luke.
Yeah. Could you just repeat the question one more time for me?
Right. So, what are gaps you see in first-year students from social distancing, and what are ways that you think we can bridge those gaps?
Okay. Yeah, so for like the most part, like everyone's talked about the social aspect where it's really cutting out on how we interact with people. And I agree with that. Like we aren't able to sit with our friends where we want. And I think NJIT does have a lot of open space. So if we utilize that open space to plan events and stuff like that, we can interact better. Also, like I also agree with like my candidates where we can utilize online platforms because now we can utilize online platforms to meet new people. Making like a bulletin, like Raya said, is like an amazing idea where we can share our we can find people who share our hobbies and ideals. And yeah, so sorry, that's it.
Thank you. Next up, we have Christina.
So what I see right now is that right now with the new social distancing policies, it's hard to make new friends and it's hard to keep the ones that you have. So I think that we should have, in addition to all these online events, we should have some in-person events because it's different when you're in person to when it's online. It just is, and there's really no way to replicate it. And I think that we can have safe events if we're socially distant and we put up set spots for people to stand on. But that way everyone wears masks, but we can still get to know each other. And I also think it's important that we let people interact with each other in their dorm rooms. I mean, it's completely unrealistic to think that there are no couples on campus or there's no pair of friends that are coming in from high school that are not, they're just never going to see each other. So I think that we should stick to what science is telling us is effective and enforce social bubbles as opposed to social isolation, and put 2 people are allowed per dorm room, and it'll be kept on a Google sheet that will be locked from campus, and everyone will basically be allowed 2 people for their dorm room.
Next up, we have Brian.
Okay. So first, I would just like to start off by saying thank you to the public safety department for doing their best they can to enforce the social distancing. But one of my main goals is to oversee events happening on campus or do as many as possible. And I think the way we can do this is utilizing the open space, as we have said before, because I feel that there's so much open space that is not being used, and I want the freshman class to be as involved with clubs and other organizations. So I would like to host events around that open space and utilize it as much as I can. Obviously, socially distancing with masks, and also I also agree with my fellow peers about the online platform because I feel that we have to get to know each other because the main gap that I think that we couldn't bridge because of this pandemic would be the social one, the social aspect. And yes, that is.
Thanks, Brian. And next up, we have Matthew.
I feel that the biggest gap caused by social distancing are the on-campus opportunities that students are able to obtain regularly. And similar to what my peers have said of obtaining an online platform, I feel like that same platform could be used in conjunction with the Advising Success Center in order to pair students with organizations they may seem to like that they may not otherwise find on campus, or even research opportunities by grouping with professors and their available research.
Thank you, Matthew. Next up is Daniel.
Yeah, so not to be repetitive, but obviously, like, I think the biggest hit with the social distancing thing is the whole icebreakers and social aspect thing. So I think we can set up learning communities that are based off of like people's interests, where people can plan events to like have online calls and meet new people. That way, like, there is some sense of normalcy, and the freshmen have that fellowship that they would usually get if we were in person. And while it is difficult, like, for people to interact in person due to like all the social distancing guidelines and the campus requirements, we should attempt to create like icebreaker events that would allow for students to get a feel for the on-campus experience. That way, we don't feel like we're missing out on one of our 4 years or whatever. And also, I think we need to also remember that we are lucky enough to have in-person courses, and we're fortunate enough that NJIT is even letting us implement social distancing, because a lot of schools are already closed. So since we have this opportunity, I think we should seize it and use these icebreaker opportunities online.
Thank you, Daniel. And lastly, we have Lauren for this question.
So I feel like a certain level of gaps are going to be inevitable no matter what, but I feel like something we can definitely do is, like, rather than having so many spots where people can sit just by themselves, a way to like transition that into something better where we can interact with more people is, instead of having so many one-person seats like in the campus center or in Cooperin, you can put like bigger tables with multiple seats around them, so like people can study together and sit together, eat together, and do all of these things that we're a lot like missing out on a lot. Instead of having so many like one person tables, there's also like a lot of open classrooms and a lot of open lecture halls. So I think we should definitely utilize those, and we can take out some of the desks, or we can socially guide like all of those things, and we could fit multiple people into those classrooms. So you could have a friend group, or you can have a study group, like, and those rooms can be used for anything you want. You could have like open movie nights or anything in like lecture halls and connect it. So it could be more of your socially distancing, but you're still with the group. You're with multiple people, and we can get that freshman experience that we're missing out on.
Thank you, Lauren. And so now we're going to have our second question, starting from Lauren and going in reverse order. And the second question is, a lot of ideas have been thrown out there, but if you're elected, what are ways that you think you can utilize to have good communication to work well with others?
So I feel like some of the things that like are definitely hurt right now are not only the social gaps, but also like the academic gaps. And I feel like a lot of the freshmen don't really know how to reach out to their advisor or set up a meeting or like figure out their whole futures pretty much. Like personally, me and a lot of people I'm friends with, like a lot of the schedules were messed up, and a lot of things are like, a lot of problems are arising, and we didn't really know who to go to for that. So I feel like something we can definitely do is like implement a program or flyers or anything to say like, this is who your advisor is, you can reach them here, and we can set up in person, because I feel like it's definitely more effective when you're talking to your advisor or your professor face to face, because like the conversation will flow a lot better, and you'll be able to, a lot more questions can arise that they can answer for you in person. So I feel like that's definitely something that would need.
Thank you, Lauren. Next up, Daniel.
Yeah, so I think we can use WebEx to our advantage, and all these online platforms like Zoom and all these things to our advantage to have for everybody's respective majors. Like in Senate, we can set up something for each major to have like an advising session weekly, and it'll allow students to communicate with upperclassmen and ask them questions on whatever they need on the advising aspect. And because I personally had that experience that I mentioned earlier with my schedule, and I think it's really important that that communication isn't lost, and that freshmen do know where to go to communicate their issues and to have someone to help and guide them whenever they need.
Thank you, Daniel. Next up, we have Matthew.
I'm sorry, Anuj, but can you repeat the question, please?
Yep. I said a lot of ideas have been thrown out, but if you're elected, what could you do? What are good ways to communicate, and work well with others to kind of execute these ideas or, gather information?
Well, in terms of communication, we all have access to our NJIT email system, and there are several students who've created group me's and Discords and other various forms of communication. So I feel as if we could merge all of those platforms we can confine all of those platforms to a single point of communication so that we can reach all of the freshman class and all of their concerns and needs of us. So, yeah.
Thank you. Next up, we have Brian.
May you just repeat the question again? I'm so sorry. I apologize.
Yeah, no problem. So a lot of ideas have been thrown out, but if you're elected, what are good ways to communicate with fellow senators or students to gain feedback, especially since communication is difficult, not in person?
Yes. So first, I would like to implement obviously pushing more the advisors, because I feel the freshmen, we want to get information out of our advisors, but we just feel that the advisors are not reaching out to us. So I just want to bridge that gap, obviously, by pushing more the advisors to host maybe an event or a virtual event and hopefully get more communication out of them. Because like I said, my fellow peer, my friend, he wanted to be an architect major, but since he didn't have the right advising, they just put him as a bio major, and now he's a semester behind in architecture because he couldn't submit his portfolio on time. So I would like to bridge that gap. And also for other fellow peers, I think that we should just use Instagram and everything to get more connected with them and also have a connection so we can lead them to the right club so they can be more involved. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Next, we have Christina.
Hi. So I think the way that we can communicate with others is that first we should all as students be able to meet with our advisors for a one-on-one meeting. We were offered this 10-on-1 meeting with our advisors before we had our schedules and before we even knew what college was like. And I think that having one after college starts is a lot more useful and effective. And I also think while group meetings are effective, one-on-one meetings are so much more important because that's when you can ask individual questions. I also have an Instagram, which I made. It's Christina for Stud Senate. And through that, I want to communicate with everyone on the campus and all the freshmen and tell them what I'm doing for them. And they can DM me at any time and I can talk to them if they have any questions. And then I also agree with the buddy and mentor system. I was part of starting one in my high school. And it's a really effective and useful way for people to learn new information without putting too much strain on the advising system at the college.
Thank you, Christine. Next, we have Luke.
Yeah, so as many other candidates said, we've grown up in a generation where there's so many different social platforms we can all talk to on. So I think optimizing platforms like Instagram and GroupMe and Discord will make communication between the Senate and the students so much better. To make ourselves more available on these platforms, we'll be able to convey our messages more often, and students will be able to see it more often. And I agree with my fellow candidates about academic advising. We only had one short and brief academic advising session. So I think if we make meetings where we can, or meetings where we can meet with our academic advisor one-on-one, it'll be a lot better for us in terms of where our future is going, what we're planning, and yeah.
Thank you, Luke. Next, we have Mira.
So we have the campus-wide notification system for in case of emergency, but if we had a similar program, but instead to advertise events, game nights, things like that, I feel like students would be much more likely to pay attention to, say, a text received on their phone versus an email, especially considering not everyone has their student email, their notifications on, especially on their cellular device. I do encourage students to kind of advocate a little bit more for themselves on the advising front. However, I do agree that student advising or programs such as Navigate, which allow students to communicate with their professors and their academic advisors, should be more pushed onto the students, especially freshmen during that transition periods. I think that students also should be employing social media, especially us if we are elected as representatives, because I think that's something that people pay attention to the most, and that's what's going to make people pay attention to events going on and attend said events in the first place.
Thanks, Vera. Now we have Michael.
All right, can you hear me? Hopefully last time I'm asking that. Hopefully fix the audio.
Yep, you're good.
All right. So yeah, I agree with a lot of what the other senators were saying. I definitely feel that while the advising could be better, a big thing is meeting other students and talking to other students. I know Christina mentioned that she wants to put a mentoring system in place. And I was actually quite confused when she said that because I was assigned a mentor with my major. So I feel like that's kind of unfair to a lot of other students if one department is assigning mentors and other departments aren't. So I definitely would look into that and try and expand that program. But I also feel like there needs to be better ways to connect with students on campus. Like I met Brian the other day playing spike ball, and just forming connection through in-person, socially distant activities could really help. Because when you need help and are wondering if a homework's due, you're not going to ask your advisor. You're going to ask someone else, like in the class or around campus. And so I feel like a lot could be improved on that front.
Thanks, Michael. Next, we have Arthur.
So one of my peers brought up social isolation, and I think that's really important when we're talking about gaps in communication, because I think that that's what makes this year stand out from all the other years and semesters, is because we are experiencing that level of social isolation. So if we want better communication, maybe it's not bombarding through notifications or stuff like that. While that can help somewhat, it's really hard for like me as an individual to keep up with all the events on campus. So what's really the best way is when you're able to meet with your friends in a safe environment that's monitored, and then you guys will be socializing and talking about things that go on in campus. And then that's how people will get their information and remember it. So things that we can do is like open up the game room. A lot of people don't know we have a game room downstairs in campus center, and that the hours are, so little. They close at like 5 or 6. And we can open that up longer and encourage places where we know we can be safe and monitor students to socialize and communicate with each other.
Thanks, Arthur. Next, we have Raya.
Through personal experience, I have found that it is hard to find answers to questions. This summer, I wanted to take classes, so I tried to email someone who I thought could help answer my questions. But they said they weren't the right person to ask and had me call the school or check online. On the NJIT website, I didn't find resources. I called the school and was transferred to 5 different people. This caused a lot of inconvenience because I had to keep repeating my detailed question until someone knew the answer. And even right now, I have many questions pertaining to various things, but oftentimes don't know who to refer to for asking the questions. I don't think it should be such a nuisance for freshmen. I believe we can fix this by simply setting up a general Q&A forum, possibly through Canvas or the Highlander Hub, where a student can send any question they might have. Then a team of student senators and faculty members who are capable of providing answers will reach out to and help the student resolve any issues or address their concerns. This is a simple and efficient way to solve this problem. Students will always know how to reach out and won't have to deal with uncertainties.
Thanks, Raya. Next, we have Max.
I think expanding the Senate's social media presence online and that issue is very important. We need to establish NJIT Senate as the helper, as the ultimate advisor and mentor to all students. And we need to encourage students to, DM us, ask us questions, and we need to, I guess, develop a team of social media people who are going to be answering those questions and reaching out to other, let's say, teachers and asking them questions to answer the questions that were answered. And I think social media is the ultimate tool.
Thanks, Max. And lastly, we have Victoria.
As classes have moved towards a technological platform, it's important that we take advantage of the most efficient resources technology has to offer. For example, we could begin to use the app like Remind, which allows for two-way instant messaging with administration and students, where we can either ask questions about homework or receive a blast about attending virtual resume day. It's more likely for people to check their phone for like a text rather than an email. And this streamlined communication will ultimately bring the NJIT community together and will allow us as students to continuously stay on top of our academic responsibilities. Moreover, people don't know that there's things such as like a 24/7 technology hotline. Students need to be aware of the resources they have, and we need to do a better job of advertising it.
Thanks, Victoria. Now we're going to go in reverse order again, starting with Victoria. We're going to have a 1-minute closing, and that's going to be the end of today's first year platform. So let me know when you're ready.
With my vast experience as a leader, I believe that I'm qualified to be your freshman representative. I hope to become a member of the Senate that lends an ear to its community and puts effort into giving back. But most importantly, if I'm your freshman representative, I want to represent you, the freshmen. So I've created an anonymous Google form that I will share with you all, and let me know what you think the Senate should do to make NJIT the best it's ever been. The best ideas come from the student body, and the student body should be heard. If you vote for me, I will make sure your voice is heard.
Thank you. Max?
To conclude, I would like to say that, and I mean this respectfully, in my view, what the NJIT Senate needs is not another generalist who can do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but a person who is immersed in one very important field and can focus on his craft during his term in the Senate. Marketing is, in my opinion, a crucial aspect of any public organization, and being a person who is very passionate and experienced in that, I think I'm the perfect candidate. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Next up, we have Raya.
In a time like this, I want to make sure that everyone's voices are heard and concerns are properly addressed. We might be in different places this semester, whether you are on campus or at home, but we still deserve to have an exciting and enjoyable freshman year experience. Together, we will figure out ways to make the most of this circumstance. I look forward to working with my fellow freshmen and the Student Senate as a liaison to create positive outcomes and new initiatives on behalf of my class. Thank you.
Thank you, Raya. Next up, we have Arthur.
My name is Arthenia Shafiq, and my passion is policy. Coming up with great ideas is easy, but it is implementing them that requires serious dedication and motivation. As someone who took on lots of responsibility in high school, I vow, as your first year rep, to be your workhorse. Not just implementing my ideas, but that of my cohorts. Vote Shafiq for Senate if you want an advocate for your mental health who is driven to create a safer and more seamless learning environment to free up students' time to focus on extracurriculars. Thank you.
Thank you, Arthur. Next up, we have Michael.
All right, so I'm sorry I don't have anything written down. I missed the closing remarks, but I'd just like to finish it off by saying I'm really looking to be on the Senate and kind of extend a lot of the resources that I've seen here at NJIT. I have a lot of upperclassmen friends who have shared a lot of knowledge with me, and I really want to make it so that the Senate isn't just another student position that people see all the flyers around campus and just kind of ignore, oh, go to this Senate meeting, go to that Senate meeting. And I really just want to bring the Senate to the students and establish a platform where they can voice their concerns and actually see change rather than seeing, oh, we missed that whole thing you were complaining about the meals, but here's another game night. So hopefully everybody watching this votes for me. I'm going to be making a group me soon, and goodbye, everyone.
Thanks, Michael. Next up, we have Mira.
As a representative, I don't want to just focus on the short term. I don't want to focus on events that are happening just, 1 month from now, 2 months from now. I want to think about long-term change that's going to affect us not only as, freshmen this year, but also us as members of the NJIT community and even us as members of University Heights in Newark. That's why I really want to push environmental sustainability, not only to promote, long-term positive changes for us as members of this community, but also us as human beings and inhabitants of this planet. I also want to make sure that students, us and also all future students at NJIT can afford the supplies that they need for courses and classes by pushing for lab manuals and other materials to be much cheaper and more available to us as students. I want to push for change that's going to have a long-term benefits and impact for all of us. And that means that we need to stand together as a community. And the only way to advocate for that long-term positive growth is by voting for me. So thank you.
Thanks, Mira. Next up, we have Luke.
Okay, so in summation, I played a lot of leadership roles in my high school experience, so I know what the challenges that comes with being a leader are and the challenges that comes with being a representative. So if I become your representative, let me be your voice to the Senate. I'm always open. You can just walk up to me. It doesn't really matter. But yes, so thank you for your time and the opportunity. It was nice meeting you all.
Thanks, Luke. Next up, we have Christina.
Sorry.
Problem.
Okay. So in summation, I can see a lot of opportunity right now for improvement, and I think everyone else here does too. I want to be a conduit for change that you guys want enacted, and I want everyone to be able to make friends and have a normal life as much as possible in these next upcoming months. And that's what my platform is based around. I want to save you money, I want to help you make friends, help you learn, and also make the food here a little bit better. I not only come with ideas though, I've also worked with real world policymakers and had policy enacted in both Garfield and Mahwah school districts. So I understand the gauntlet passing policy is, and I also know what's possible, and I know that my ideas are possible with a little bit of elbow grease. So that's why I'm telling you that I'm not just here to tell you I'm going to work for you. I'm telling you what I'm going to do, and I'm telling you that I can do it. If you have any questions or have anything at all, I'm going to link my Instagram that I made in the chat, and please DM me at any time. I really want to be the representative here the way I can make life better for you and for me.
Thank you, Christina. Next up, we have Brian.
Yes, I would just like to end with my closing statement being that we have heard amazing ideas from everyone, and I believe that everyone does have enough, has enough to contribute. But I would just like to clarify that freshman rep is about you. We all want to be your voice, and I promise that I'm open to any concerns that you may have, and I'll always bring it up to the student senate. And also, you can hit me up anytime you want. I'll leave my socials for if you have any concerns that you haven't heard, we can bring it up. And like I said, my goal is to do anything in the freshman rep, but to do it in the interest of the class 2024 as a whole. And thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. Next up, we have Matthew.
With all said and done, I would say everyone should vote for the candidate that they would like to represent their beliefs on campus. And my goals are to include the initiative of keeping the campus more safe while enabling more students to be more lively and voicing your concerns. So for that reason, I would like to contact every single student and freshman on campus so that I would be able to hear your concerns to make a campus the better place and the best place it could possibly be. Thank you.
Thanks, Matthew. Next up, we have Daniel.
Yeah, so these are unprecedented times we're living in, and unprecedented times call for leadership. And I believe I'm experienced, and I have a lot of experience as a leader in my high school years and in my past in general. I was executive members of the student council, the student government, DECA, FBLA, Key Club, and a lot of clubs that required community service and my leadership. So I'm looking to work for the freshmen, and I'm looking to make the most opportune advising and brain fart. But I'm looking to help freshmen, and I'm for you. So vote for me. That's all that matters. Vote for me.
Thanks, Daniel. And I believe the last person is Lauren.
So in my past experience, I was part of student government. I was captain of many sports clubs. So I definitely know what it's like to listen to what the students have to say and to project that to faculty. And I think I could be a great bridge for that exact reason because of my experience. I think it's really important to hear what the faculty and the upperclassmen have to say to us freshmen. And one of the things that I feel I excelled in a lot was projecting what I've heard from other people and being able to maximize it to my fellow peers and my other students. Two of the main platforms that I will be running on are to help with those scheduling problems and to help us know where to contact our advisor and people, and to let us, plan our futures with our advisors one step at a time, and to allow less social isolation and one person spots to sit rather and put more like groups and tables where you can have small groups of 4 people instead of just sitting by yourself all day. So that can definitely help with the social gap. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for coming out to the first year Senate candidacy. It's great to see so many people interested in, making an impact on campus. And I wish you guys all good luck in the next couple of days of campaigning. As you know, campaigning is going to be done on Canvas, or voting, I should say, which is going to open up on the 14th and 15th, I believe. So if you guys don't have any more questions, we're going to end the recording of this meeting. Okay.